So America's modern diet did not emerge from just free choice. People didn't just say, oh, all of a sudden I'll wake up and I'll eat garbage all day. It was shaped quietly and effectively by federal agricultural policy and economic incentives that specifically followed that. For decades, our federal government has subsidized farm programs that prioritize a narrow group of commodity crops, specifically grain, creating chronic overproduction. That surplus needed an outlet. Food manufacturers converted cheap grain into shelf-stable, highly profitable processed foods. It wasn't really a conspiracy. We, who are truth seekers, I do think tend to see conspiracies a little bit more than they are. A lot of times it's simply economic incentives aligning in a certain direction. So that's, I think, what happened here. When policy guaranteed supply and lowered the cost, the industry responded rationally. Federal dietary guidance later normalized this system, reinforcing a cycle which subsidized these foods, shaped habits, and habits then also justify the policy. The government subsidized cheap grain, and then the government told you cheap grain was the way to eat. That's literally what happened, and we've known that for many decades. We should be angry that our federal government is so corrupted in that way. However, I personally am most angry at my fellow doctors. And the reason is we were the last line of defense. The same way a judge is the last line of defense when a defendant is standing in front of them, even if the system is massively corrupt, right? The prosecutor is corrupt, the DOJ is corrupt. Whatever the system is, at the end of the day, you're standing in front of the judge, an experience I've also had, and you're relying on that judge to be moral and righteous and make the right decision in that moment. So every time the doctor had a patient in front of them and they're not doing the right thing, I'm angry at that doctor. And the doctors are witnessing obesity skyrocketing. We're about 40% obese in our nation. It's incredibly difficult not to be obese in America, and the doctors have the front row to this. So I wanted to share with you another example of how the institutions are completely corrupted.